What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Audacity podcast with Nikki Howard
and Brent Pella.
Hey, this is the podcast where we laugh our way through the madness of life because we don't know what else to do about it.
That's right.
So what's been bugging you lately?
Well, I don't know as of late, like lately.
Or just in life in general?
Well, this has been bothering me for a while.
What's been bothering you for a while?
It came up recently.
What came up recently?
I just want to get it off my chest. The audacity of Bobby Flay to go into towns across America where families, generation, have spent their lives building a name for themselves in the restaurant industry. They have the town's best pie. They have people come all over this is the best. This is their great grandmother's pie recipe. And he fucking strolls in and goes, "No, mine's better." And then wins. And everyone's like, "Yeah, screw you, Bobby Flay. Bobby. And shits all over these people. I can't stand him. And I think he's got some balls.
Is this, now what show is this?
Beat Bobby Flay.
Beat Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little audacious to just walk into bumfuck Indiana and think that you can make the best funnel cake when Sherry O'Neill has been making funnel cake with her great-great-grandmother's recipe.
She's done nothing
since
to
the
you.
1920s.
She has done nothing to you.
Yeah.
And now you're walking in, shitting on her.
Making a funnel cake, slapping her in the tits with it, saying, "Fuck you, I'm Bobby Flay," and you're leaving?
Yeah. And then
what? Up.
Now everybody's going to be like, "Yeah, but you didn't beat Bobby Flay."
Yeah. Oh, okay, Sherry, you got good funnel cake?
Yeah, Bobby's was
not
better.
Good as Bobby Flay's.
Can you imagine? Like, it's so cruel. I feel so passionately about how
as you should
mean that is.
As you should, because food shows in general have a lot of audacity.
I agree.
Have you ever seen Chopped?
Have I?
So my uncle was actually on Chopped.
I think you told me this when I was...
My uncle Al Napo, who is now a GM of Rosebud, Italian restaurant out in Chicago.
Go visit him.
Go there if you're out there and tell GM Al that nephew Brent says what's up. My uncle was on Chopped, right? Now, Chopped is audacious for multiple reasons.
Hit me.
Reason number one is whoever wins isn't just the best chef, but also has the best sob story. Because on Chopped, they whittle it down to the final two competitors. He made it to the finals.
Yeah.
And he's like this rock and roll guy. He's like, like I got guitars in my wall. I got when I fart, fire comes out. Like I grew up with Metallica. I'm a rocker. Like my blood type is leather. You know, that's my uncle.
Right.
And he was going up against somebody else in the finals who was like, my business just went underwater. Literally, we were flooded and I had to take out insurance and I just don't know what to do if I don't win.
You know, honestly...
And she ended up winning.
Of course. But I'm shocked because normally the sob stories, and this is what gets me, the sob stories when it's completely unrelated to anything. They're like, yeah, well, they're like, Scott is like, you know, you put red onions on this and they're raw.
Right.
He hates that. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I have a tear duct condition and it's inhibited me from, seeing my family. Yeah. And my dog has 3 legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't make your food taste better.
Why would you put the raw onions?
Right.
That's
so the other part of Chopped that really gets me is the secret ingredient. Mm-hmm. Because it's like always something that makes no sense.
Yeah.
They always welcome you into the kitchen like, all right, today on Chopped, 3 chefs compete using the secret ingredient. 4 chefs compete using the secret ingredient, broken glass.
Yeah.
Will these 4 chefs be able to trick the judges into thinking their food is great? We'll find out on Chopped, where today's secret ingredient is the color brown. Can these 4 horny chefs make our subtle judges think that they're the ones using today's secret ingredient, human hair,
I kind of like that aspect though. I kind of like it because I'm always wondering, like, is it good? Is any of it good? Some of it has to be good.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be.
But some it's like sand, you know?
I think
it's
my
like
Uncle Al's was the best.
Sand. Dessert, 20 minutes. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Just don't tell me a sad story about it.
Yeah, just make the food.
Keep it to yourself.
Make us better.
Please make us better.
Gonna talk to someone and get better.
An expert,
Get better.
hopefully, in
Not
their
eating
field.
butter, we're getting
Welcome back to Make Us Better. Today, we have on a friend of mine. He is hilarious. His name is Ben Gleib. TBS called him one of the funniest comedians working today. You might have seen his acclaimed stand-up specials, The Mad King and Neurotic Gangster. He's the host of the Emmy-nominated brain teaser game show, Idiot Test. You might have seen on Netflix or currently on Pluto TV. He's one of the lead anchors of the Young Turks News Network, and for years he was one of the stars of Chelsea Lately with Chelsea Handler. He was a regular on The Today Show on NBC, The Late Show on CBS, and At Midnight on Comedy Central, and his podcast Last Week on Earth, where he summarizes the world every week, debuted at number 9 on iTunes Comedy. He's done over 500 episodes of television. His online views and are now 500 million. I can't read. We're going to talk to Ben Gleib, everyone.
Hello, Nikki.
What's good, dude?
Hello, Brent. What's going on?
Hey, you know what's funny? I've been to your house
What?
You have?
years ago. You had
I gotta go.
You had, I think it was your birthday or something, and I had a manager years ago who knew you, and she brought me, and I was there, and I was like the young comic who didn't know anybody, and I was surrounded by all these successful people with like names, and I was like, I like didn't have a name, and I remember you being very kind.
He doesn't remember you.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. I'm glad
You were an unnamed boy walking into my
I
house.
was a young boy. My balls were still up in my esophagus.
where they lie today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I don't love is when someone says they were a young boy and then talks about their balls right after.
Yeah, especially after saying I've been to your house.
Also,
This is probably not the
ideal at all.
best sequence of things to be told.
Yeah. And let's start again. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Brent. Great to see you guys.
Oh man.
So, dude, how you been the past couple weeks, months, days? This is an exciting, insane time that we're living through.
Yeah, it very much is. I've been fine. My podcast is called Last Week on Earth, and it feels like that lately every week.
Yeah.
It's just a weird planet we're living in. And so the only way to get through it, I just have gone to this kind of resigned malaise where I'm just like, great, we're spectators.
Did you, when you were starting off in stand-up, were you pretty topical? Were you pretty like news, culture, topical, trending material guy? Or did that kind of shift over the years?
No, I mean, even now, my stand-up itself is not super topical. I usually keep it to, like, observational, some, like, society commentary, I guess, and observational things and personal stories. Politics slips in a little bit. I just do a lot more politics in, like, everything other than my stand-up, like my podcast and stuff with the Young Turks that I do when I anchor there or whatever. When I started out, I was actually an impressionist. I started my first couple of years, I did impressions, and then I abandoned that as soon as possible because that was not. I remember I was watching the Jim Carrey E! True Hollywood Story, and the voiceover guy goes, Carrey was getting standing ovations with his impression-laden act at the Comedy Store, but he saw his career just heading one place, and it pans to the Vegas Strip. And he's like, not wanting that fate. He abandoned his act and bombed for 2 years to reinvent a more unique performance style. And I'm like, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be Rich Little. God bless him.
Yeah.
Well, we, as you know, obviously it's been quite the week in politics, and we wanted to pick your brain a little bit. You know, we like to keep it, I guess, bipartisan on this podcast. We want everybody's.
We love all partisans.
Yeah, we love all partisans.
We love bipartisans. We love gay partisans.
Tripartisans.
We love straight partisans.
Trans partisans.
Trans are wonderful.
Yeah. So we thought it's just so negative. So we are curious if you, Ben Gleib, could give us like 3 good things about both candidates and then 3 negative things about both candidates. And we're just trying to inform ourselves from other people's points of view. I think that's a good way to just encompass someone's opinion.
Sure. No, I think that's great. Because my real opinion is that one side is trying to destroy our democracy, but I won't say which. I'm not going to say which side.
No.
Because there's arguments for both sides claim that. And so 3 positives and 3 negatives of each? All right. So three positives of the Harris-Walz campaign. I would say they are introducing a lot of policies that will help middle-class people, right? Like $25,000 for first-time home buyers, $6,000 per child, increasing the child tax credit for people. Both parties want to get rid of taxes on tips. So if you're somebody who works in a just the tip fueled industry, you are getting that tip dipped in.
It's fun,
but not
fun industry.
taxed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking. I'm talking about sex. And another positive of Harris-Walz is that they do seem to respect elections. So if you care about elections actually counting, there's that. I think that's a positive. And another positive is that, I don't have a third right now.
Okay.
The negatives of Harris-Walz. If you like candidates that seem happy and are laughing a lot, this is not your ticket. If you don't like people with joy, I would avoid this campaign. If you like more of like a bitterness to your campaign, I would probably avoid Harris-Walz. They also, they seem very focused on. Look, Kamala was put in without the most democratic process as well, because I think the Trump ticket also got some major issues with democracy. But I think it's a little bit of a unique situation. People are like, oh, they just instituted her and she didn't get any votes. I personally think, well, she did get votes because people were voting for the Biden-Harris ticket. And let's be honest, they knew Biden was,
unwell.
He's not. Unwell is a very sweet way to put that.
Shedding
He's
life.
Unwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, shedding life is good.
Shedding life.
I mean, he would probably say himself, the idea, folks, that I'm somehow aware of my surroundings. It's malarkey. Got ideas. It's not a joke. We're like, he always says it's not a joke. No one thinks you're joking. You're the president.
Yeah. Also, we're over here. Face us. We're over here.
Even comedians don't say, I'm not joking when they're serious. But the president should not have to every sentence say, I'm not joking around.
I'm not joking around.
We know you're not joking around. You're the president. And then, so there's that so I think it was a unique circumstance, not much they could have done, and Kamala technically did go earn those delegates. On the Trump side, three positives, I think, are Trump is a wild card, and so I think there's an argument to be made that on the international stage, other world leaders are afraid sometimes to make some moves because they don't know what Trump's going to do. Is he going to send a big bomb your way? Is he going to love you? Is he going to write you a love letter? Is he going to call you for some phone sex? You don't know what he's going to do. He's all over the map. I just wanted to get off on the phone while talking to Kim Jong-un. Okay? And they have a great relationship. So there's that. Another positive is if you're very wealthy, his campaign will help you a lot. They want to lower the amount. Well, it already is lowered. He did lower the amount that that the inheritance tax would be at from $5 million up to he raised the amount rather to $13 million adjusted for inflation. So if you are about to get an inheritance that is up to $13 million, you won't be taxed on it. So that's nice. If
That's
that doesn't
real
apply
nice.
to you, it would have been $5 million.
Wish
Really
that applied
nice.
to me.
Yeah.
I know, same. I mean, it would have been $5.5 million anyway. It was $5.5 million under Obama. Biden has kept it at $13.5. He wanted to lower it, wasn't able to because he had to nap. He needed nap time. But a couple negatives of Trump, I would say, is that, if you like a country that's cohesive and is not divided among racial lines, like with random lies made up about different races, like say that they're eating animals that they aren't, sans evidence. Maybe he's not your guy. But if you do like it to be a little spicy with racial relations, maybe he is your guy. That's one way to look at that. If you care about democracy, like going forward, not in a unique stance, but just generally speaking, Trump doesn't care too much about honoring the outcome of elections. And that's not an opinion. It's more decided based on, that press conference he held towards the end of his presidency when he was asked would he guarantee a peaceful transfer of power. And he said, we'll see. If I win, there won't be a transfer. There'll be a continuation. But if not, there's a lot of problems with the election. And look, that was a one-off. It was just then. It's not like he is currently saying that this election also will be shady to set up if he loses that he can say it was fraudulent. I'm being told I'm wrong. He is already saying that. He's saying already that this one's also going to be fraudulent, so he can complain for the next 5 years and sell more NFT trading cards. But if you like a president that has trading cards,
those are cool cards. Those are really cool cards.
Really cool.
They're really
$100
cool.
per card.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
They're
if you
really
like a president that gets shot at a lot, he's your guy because everybody's shooting at him and he's tough. He's like, because he keeps avoiding, he dodges good. He's like Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah.
He could be your guy for that reason. And also, just if you like a president that just really talks a lot of shit.
Shit talker.
That's your guy.
I do enjoy the shit talking. I got to be honest. I like the shit talking. I'm a fan of the shit talking. Not a fan of everything.
I hate Taylor Swift.
Hey, I watched the interview that Cenk did on Lex Friedman. How do you pronounce Cenk's last name? Is it Uyghur? Uyghur?
It's not. His first name is pronounced Cenk, not Cenk. I don't know why it's a C and not a J.
Okay.
Everybody gets it wrong. Even he gets it wrong, I think, half the time. His last name is Uyghur.
No,
it's not spelled that way.
Cenk
Uyghur.
Okay, so I watched him on Lex's podcast. I don't know if you saw this, but Lex asked him a similar-ish question to what Nikki just asked you, and one of Cenk's answers I thought was actually really cool, especially coming from somebody in his position about somebody like Trump who is so on the opposite end of the spectrum. Cenk said, for all of the objectively bad things that Trump does and talks about, he is the one person in modern politics that has challenged not only the other party and their long-standing systems, the military-industrial complex, the corruption, but also challenged his own party, challenged the Republican Party, and kind of dismantled the modern Republican Party in a way that no other politician has ever done, to the point where, he's gotten this crazy frenzy of people and his rhetoric is all fucked up, but the good that Cenk was highlighting, that I would love to get your reflection on, is how Trump really is the one person in modern politics who has gone against the establishment in the way that he said he would, and in a way that isn't totally loyal to a party line. I thought that was a really interesting answer, and I'm also paraphrasing. So, Cenk, he was much better spoken than I just was, but for the sake of this question, I'm curious what you think.
I think there's some merit to that. I think Cenk was being generous a little bit because I think that Trump, yes, he has challenged the orthodoxy of his own party, but it's not, I don't think, for deeply held beliefs. I think it's for whatever benefits him. I really just think he really mostly tilts things for him and his super wealthy buddies. And so he maybe has challenged some long-standing things, but I don't think they're necessarily positives for the party. One of the good things is that generally the Republicans have stood for smaller government and smaller government spending, and he blew up the deficit by trillions of dollars. And so I don't know, that's a positive. He achieved for them getting rid of Roe v. Wade and restricting abortion rights around the country. It was the net result of that. That's another benefit of his if you are pro-life and if you want a woman's right to choose, even if you personally are against abortion but want women to be able to choose, then the Harris campaign is certainly better for you on that. I think that Trump, I think wild card is one of his best strengths. I think he's really good also for the Jewish people. He's very strong with putting his foot down on certain things. I'm Jewish, and so that's nice. I still personally don't support him. I don't know if you could tell that. As best as I could.
That's your partisan, and we support you as the beautiful partisan you are.
Yeah.
Yes. I almost wish that I was trans at this moment so that I could be they don't support Trump, and it would sound like more people don't support him.
Well, we do think I think we're living in such a, we were just discussing this with Matt, but we're living in an interesting time where, whether, I personally, we were saying like, you know, there's like a you phrased it in some term that I don't know, but it was like almost like a public shaming of whatever you believe.
Stochastic terrorism. Basically, words of violence. What you say can make you culpable to somebody else's actions that are maybe minorly correlated to what you have said. We were talking about that earlier. Why'd you bring that up?
Well, that's not what I was talking about, but I was talking about I was just talking about.
Well, there you got a new phrase.
Yes.
So now we have a new phrase.
Well, just quickly, it's interesting that you brought that up because Piers Morgan's show recently had Ben Shapiro on, and they blamed me in part for Trump's first shooting, for his first assassination attempt. They played a clip of me and of Conan O'Brien, of Jon Stewart, and Sarah Silverman and other comedians comparing Trump's words to Hitler. And they said this kind of thing is what led to, indirectly, to this crazy person trying to shoot him, which I think is crazy. I think that you need to use your words responsibly, and you shouldn't, wildly make accusations. But if somebody is using language like immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country, that is taken directly from Hitler's rhetoric and speeches, it's important to point out this is the kind of rhetoric you're supporting if you support that person, and you can support him for other reasons and not like that but still support him, I suppose, or you can have that be a line in the sand that you don't support him because of. But I don't think you should be held responsible for pointing out, like, otherwise what's the argument? You're not supposed to ever point anything out,
right?
Yeah,
right. And that's the point too, is that happens on
both sides
quite a bit, and that rhetoric doesn't equate violence,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it shouldn't be held culpable for violence.
Yeah.
Crazy
totally.
people should be held culpable for violence.
Kamala also should. I think both sides are good at dodging and are good at not taking responsibility for the things that they say and do. There's that clip going around that does seem like Kamala was very proud that she fought to get inmates in prison transgender surgery, but then claims that that's ridiculous when Trump says it, or should have taken ownership for the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan instead of avoiding it. I think there's a difference between lying and just kind of talking around something, which all politicians do, but I wish we had people that were just
straightforward,
more straightforward,
honest,
it's
and
tough,
cared about us. I don't think either of them care about us. I think that's like really where I stand. I'm just like, none of these people care about us. Like, that's really, that's how I feel. Like, truly, I'm like, you want to win. That's great. But like, nobody cares about me.
Yeah. Even Kennedy, who like you would have thought he seemed like he was a man of the people and was fighting this like really against the establishment of both campaigns, RFK. But then he went with Trump, it seems to me, as a power grab, because if he's really trying to build a third party movement, you should spend the next 4 years building that. And if you're working in the Trump administration, you obviously won't be able to spend 1 second doing that, because Trump will think it's disloyal, and he'd be like, you come in here, RFK, and he'd be like, I just wanted to do whatever I could to try to help build a movement. And they would just be like a very strange sounding argument. And so I don't know who actually out there is trying. I ran for president. I don't know if you guys know that. But
I remember that. Was that 16 or 20?
2020. My campaign was in 2019.
Yeah.
I actually beat Kamala in Coos County in New Hampshire.
Really?
After we had,
That's incredible.
After we had both dropped out, we were still on the ballot, and I beat her.
That's hilarious, dude. Did you campaign quite a bit for that? What was that experience like?
It was insane. I mean, I was campaigning. We campaigned in 13 states and territories all over the country, and Puerto Rico and D.C., and I was in Iowa and New Hampshire a bunch. I mean, here, if you can see this is the headline of the New Hampshire Telegraph, comedian Ben Gleib campaigns for presidency. The front page of that paper, so that did nothing for my campaign, and I lost. I don't know.
What would you have done?
Yeah.
What if you had won, though?
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie where is it Robin Williams or somebody else is a Jon Stewart type, and they run for president and they end up winning? Mm-hmm. What would you have done if you had won?
Probably shit myself. I mean,
Would you have so what were like?
No, I'm kidding. I would not have shit myself. I would have been fine.
I would have shit myself.
The main reason why I was not afraid to run, and I would have been, look, I'm glad that it worked out like it did. I was just trying to make sure Trump didn't win re-election, which was my goal, and that happened. I much enjoy my life, prefer my life being a comedian and being able to sleep in and do whatever the hell I want. is much better, and being able to joke about stuff and say stuff like shit myself instead of. Although now
Well,
you
you
can
can
as
still
president.
say that.
You can. It's true. Yeah, because the bars. That's part
The
of why I
bar is
ran was
low.
the bar has been dropped so low.
Yeah.
That like after Bill Clinton, he's like this like sexual deviant, and then there's Obama, who openly admits to doing coke in his book, and then there's Bush, who had been arrested for DUIs and for coke use, and then there's Trump, that like it was just like a TV game show host, and now is a convicted felon and committed all these crimes throughout time, and Biden, who's unaware of what's happening. The bar's not super. You don't need to be some like next level genius to be president. So I figured people might want an honest comedian telling the truth, and then a lot of people scoffed at that idea. Joe Rogan talked some shit about it on his podcast, which sadly was the best publicity we got. But then Zelensky became the hero of the world and considered like one of the best world leaders ever. And he was a comedian right before he became president. So I think it's not super hard. One of the main things that made me decide to run, I don't really talk about my campaign very often, but I guess in the last stretch here before the election, it's not a big deal. But that got me to run was that my parents thought the idea was stupid and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I ran, because literally they looked at me and said, Ben, you haven't become some enormous success in business, so why should you be president? And I was like, that's the whole fucking problem.
Yeah.
Why do we only elect people who are these uber wealthy, super out of touch, super successful business people? Like, I have run a small business and sold it. I've built a career on my own out in the marketplace. I'm a middle-class person that needs to figure out how to make things work. So I actually am one of the people that is living the life that most people in the country are. So, I'm going to fight for what you need, because I actually need the same changes myself. I spoke at an event, the Iowa AFL-CIO in Altoona, Iowa, and my big pitch to them was, I'm in your union. I'm in SAG-AFTRA. It's a signatory of AFL-CIO. I'm the only candidate in your union. I'm going to fight for you because I literally need these changes and protections myself. I got a standing ovation, and the press didn't cover it. Just ignored it. Biden spoke at the event, did not get a standing O. Bernie didn't get a standing O. I do. They don't even mention it. So we have a broken system, and I'm very glad to be out of politics and just, smoking weed again and getting a little drunk all weekend.
I love that.
If you had been elected president, what would you have done with the classified information about UFOs, UAPs, and aliens?
Yeah, all of it is out. Why would you keep it quiet?
Yes! You got my vote.
Thank you. The premise that people can't handle it. This is a mindset pre-social media. We can handle everything.
Yeah, we've seen too much. We've seen too much.
Yeah, I don't even think it would mess our brains up. I think they could literally release information tonight that said aliens are living amongst us. Here are the aliens. Here's the proof. And people would be like, oh, yeah, great, maybe I'll share it. But also there's this great eating the dogs, eating the cats video. They turned into a song. Also, I'm seeing live war footage from the Middle East. Also, it wouldn't even register. I think it might not even go viral.
Yeah, right, 100%. It'd just be like on TikTok, like
9,000 views on Instagram.
Yeah, 9,000 just proved aliens. Whatever, dude.
Whatever, dude.
There's a new Deadpool movie out. We got to focus on.
There's a cat hitting a guy with a coffee mug. Is great. I know we only have a little bit of time here, but I want to talk about your special.
Yeah, dude. Congrats.
Yes. Congratulations. You're filming on Saturday. Give us more details. What should people expect? Where can they buy tickets? All the things.
I am excited about it. So this is my 3rd-hour special. If you want to come to it, you can still watch my first 2. They're obviously totally different material. First one's on Amazon Prime, Neurotic Gangster. Second one, The Mad King, is on YouTube. Links to all of it's in my Instagram bio at Ben Gleib. This Saturday at Hotel Cafe in Hollywood, I'm taping my 3rd. It's called Endings, and it's my most personal stand-up performance ever. It's unlike anything I've really ever done. I went through an insane year of my life with a lot of crazy things coming at me, very personal things, some hard times, and I somehow found really funny perspectives and funny moments throughout all of it. So it's got some emotional parts, but overall it's just a very funny take on a very crazy year. And I was engaged and broke up and dating again and crazy dating stories. And then, sadly my dad passed away, and all the crazy, funny things that happened since then, and like weird experiences and weird things people say to you when you lose a loved one, and just finding like some really funny perspectives on all of it. Then I had a near-death experience, and I was attacked by a dog in an insane way.
Whoa.
It was funny.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was the craziest year. It was all in one calendar year.
Oh my
thank God
God.
it's over.
Oh my God.
Was the near-death experience like traumatizing and violent?
It was not. It was the funniest, stupidest way. I mean, I will just tease it by telling you this fact. It's giving away a little bit of the bit, but I literally almost was killed by a novelty mustache.
What?
Get the fuck out of here.
I was doing a virtual show, and I wanted to wear a prop mustache for this character I play, and I only thought of it 24 hours in advance. And the fastest I could get mustaches from Amazon was a package of 48 mustaches.
Oh, I have
for
that.
$7.
I have that same package.
You have it?
I've been in the
Dude,
same
throw
position.
It. Oh, it's a death trap.
Oh no.
Dude, throw it away.
Easiest way to get mauled by a dog?
Yeah, it was separate incidents.
Oh.
Separate incidents.
Separate incident.
Oh,
The
okay.
dog mauling.
She's getting her trauma mixed
I'm
up.
so confused.
You're getting trauma mixed up. You can't trauma combine.
Damn.
It's a big thing.
So
I put the mustache on my face, and I instantly see it's so cheaply designed. There's like huge tufts of hair and chunks of hair falling off of it into the air.
yeah.
And I inhaled it, and it blocked my windpipe and started choking to
Oh
death.
my God.
And I got saved in a very funny, very weird way. But for a whole over a minute, I could not get any air, and thought I was gonna die.
Was this
really
live
crazy.
on the show?
That is insane.
Live in front of my whole Zoom audience. They're watching me die. First, they think it's funny, and I'm like joking around, so no one's helping me. And then they realized it was real. Almost too late.
Oh my God.
And the worst part is you're wearing a fake mustache while you're dying.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's nuts.
That
so
is-
Hotel Cafe. That's a really cool venue. I've been there.
It's beautiful. It's on Cahuenga in Hollywood, and I just before we started recording, just got word that my early show, the 7:00 taping, is sold out.
All right. There
Okay,
we go.
well, let's get the late show sold out. Get tickets at
Yes.
bengleib.com.
Yes, correct. The 10:00 show still has some tickets left, a few left, and I'm happy to offer your podcast listeners my friends and family link just so I can get these promotions out of my brain and be done.
Yes,
So just,
absolutely.
if you
We
go
will-
to bengleib.com/friends and family.
That's
automatically
GLIEB.
GLEIB.
That's right.
why
That's
I
what I
invite
said.
You back to my
Yep.
house.
That's right. We're going to put the link in the show notes. And before we log off,
Wait, no, I have more questions. We have time.
Do
Ben,
we?
do you have a
Please.
few more minutes? Yeah.
Whatever you need.
So I'm just curious, are you producing this? Is this fully self-produced?
It is not fully self-produced. I am self-producing it, and I'm part self-funding it. I have investors that are paying for a lot of the rest of it. Chris Gravani is investing a lot, but Christian Lamb is directing it. He's this incredible director who usually does music videos and specials like for Taylor Swift and Beyonce and
wow.
Rage and Incubus and all these amazing people, Madonna. And so he's directing it, his first stamp special. And the reason I'm a comedian is George Carlin, in my opinion, the greatest to ever live.
Yep.
And he only had one child, the brilliant Kelly Carlin, and she is a producer on the special.
Awesome.
amazing.
Very
Never
cool.
done that.
Very cool.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
dope.
pretty stoked about it. So she and I are working very closely on just the last touches to the material, and I think it's going to be a very memorable, very, very heartfelt thing. If you've ever been through a hard time recently or are going through one or just have memories of past times, I think it'll be something that really resonates and shows you that you can get past these things and find humor in all of it. And yeah, there's almost no politics in this special also, so keep that in mind.
Fun. So it really lives up to its name, Endings, because it's coming in right
Yeah.
around the end of the world, right around the end times.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
That
good
is
time.
correct.
That's very creative.
Yeah, I love that.
That's very
Yes.
creative. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
So what else are you
Yeah.
looking forward to in the months ahead, aside from the madness that we're all in for?
I have a large project that I'm fundraising for and picking back up as soon as I can't say what it is yet, but it's going to be something very cool that I'm self-creating. That's going to be, I think, a game-changing online show, and it'll be on socials everywhere, of course, as well. And I just relaunched my podcast Last Week on Earth with a new season. I cover everything that happened during the last week on Earth: news, politics, pop culture, trends, science, weird stories. It's on Kevin Smith's Smodcast Network, and I just try to take things issue by issue and break them down and make them funny. And, I definitely lean a certain way, but as you maybe heard tonight, I'm somebody that really tries to see things issue by issue and always gives credit where credit is due on both sides. But I make it funny as can be, I think. And so you can subscribe to that wherever you get your podcasts. And just going to be looking forward to retiring this hour as soon as I film it. And I've already been developing my new hour and working on hitting the clubs again and getting that stuff going. Plus, I plan to also have a social life. Again, I'm going to sit in my hot tub a little bit.
That'll be nice.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
That'll be really nice.
My hot tub is plastic, though. It's an inflatable.
Oh, so you'll get some good microplastics in your body while you're sitting in there.
Correct.
That's nice.
Correct.
You're overdue.
I like when I'm in various states of undress to get microplastics like on my nipples and in my nooks and in my crannies.
Yeah.
The crannies are important. You can't forget the crannies.
Keep it even.
Yeah.
It's correct. It's correct. I mean, it looks like a real hot tub, and I immediately regretted telling all of you listening that it is inflatable, because sometimes, like, I have had experiences where, like, I invite a girl, I say, hey, you want to come over to my place in the hot tub? And then she's like, yeah. And then I'm never sure when to let her know that it's inflatable. Do I say it
Do you
as
have
she's
to?
getting in? Do I let her know in advance?
Do you have to? Like, is she gonna bring are you scared she's gonna bring like a pen and pop it? Like, what's the? Or is she just gonna realize that
once you show up for a hot
soft.
tub situation and you see that it's a inflatable,
I see. Oh,
it might not live up to the monument you had built in your mind prior to the event.
That's what I would be like. It's hot though, right?
No, it's fully hot. I mean, it's a very
As long as
fancy
it's
looking
hot.
hot tub.
Definitely
It
hot.
looks like a $10,000 wood hot tub. It looks wooden.
Oh,
it's
that's
just
nice.
not when you.
It's
Yeah, it
but
looks.
when you get in,
It's hard. Like a pen wouldn't pop it. You would need like
it's like a
full-on
water
knife.
bed. It's like a water bed. Like, it looks like a bed, but like you get on and you're like, that's not quite what I expected. Like that?
Yeah, I would say that's fair. That's fair. And also, waterbeds barely even exist anymore for that exact reason. But it's very hot, 104 degrees, better bubbles than most hot tubs.
Nice.
Do you get a kickback?
Legit.
Do
I get what?
Do you get a kickback from the hot tub company?
I don't get a kickback from the wonderful people at Helsinki Salju Spas, but I will tell you that if you're looking for a high-grade inflatable hot tub, the people at Helsinki are for you. They really create a top-notch inflatable warm experience.
They care about the people.
And if you're looking for a good time, go
do.
see Ben Gleib's stand-up special taping this Saturday at the Hotel Cafe.
That's right.
In Los Angeles.
Yes, and before we let you go, I do want you to share this lovely story, because when I met Ben, he was the master of ceremonies at
Guardians.
It was a Jew thing. We were all there.
Oh, that sounds culty. Cool.
We all like got together and we were like, let's do this, and Ben was there, and that's how I met him. And I was like, oh, you're a family. So we had my family, more family. Anyway, he told me the most incredible story, and I asked if he would share it with us, just because I thought, we'd love to end all of our segments with like a happy note. So Ben, would you please share this fantastic story?
I'd be happy to share it. Also, before I dive into the story, I just wanted to say that, meeting you was great for me because, to whatever degree we bonded that day, you cast me in one of your
That's right.
shorts. And the role I think I was born to play
100%.
of a man with a big penis. And so
That's right.
I really appreciated you identifying my talents early.
You're welcome.
And
It's a gift.
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And I don't even have a great anecdote with that. I just want everybody to know that's what I was cast as for once. So, so this story, which is the exact opposite of that story, is... I don't tell this story in my special, but it's about my dad. So my dad had this ring, this college ring from the University of Miami that was his prized possession. He wore it every single day. He'd always play with it. He'd throw it in the air. He just loved this thing. It's this huge gold ring, and he was never without it. But he went to the beach with my mom one time many moons ago, and he wanted to go swimming deep in the ocean. He didn't want it to fall off, so he asked my mom to hold it, but she was standing in the shallow part of the ocean. My mom is not a super strong swimmer. And a big wave comes and hits her, and she drops the ring. My dad comes out, and he's like, where's the ring? And she's like, oh, it's gone. It fell. And she's like, what do you mean, oh, it's gone? It fell. Did you find it? She's like, I looked on the ground. I couldn't find it. It's gone. And his ring was just gone. And as my dad always told the story, it was the harbinger of the worst year of his life. Shortly thereafter, his father passed away, my grandpa, one of my heroes. And it just, nothing really was the same for a while for my dad. And one day I got a call randomly from the University of Miami Alumni Association. 4 years later, they found the ring.
What?
My dad got his ring back from the ocean.
What?
You don't get stuff back from the ocean.
No.
Apparently, miles away at a different beach, this young schoolgirl named Precia Vargas found my dad's ring. Actually found it like 2.5 years later, kept it for 2 years. And then her school, her like third grade class or something, had a project about hidden treasures, lost treasures. She brought it in and she's wanted to teach a lesson to show the power of the internet. So she said, why don't we try to find the owner of this ring and give it back?
No
and they
way.
Saw the inscription on the side of the ring with my dad's signature and mailed it back to my dad. And my dad was so ecstatic, and it was a turning point in his life. And the signature over those years, and I guess years in the ocean, eroded after that. So there's not even a signature anymore. But now that my dad passed, I now am wearing that ring.
Oh,
Isn't
amazing.
that the most amazing story?
That is so cool.
So never give up hope.
Wow.
I know.
And don't be a little thief.
Yeah, that's right. And if you find something,
Don't be a creepy little thief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that girl did that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, my dad gave her and her school a pizza party and an ice cream party, but really you should have called the authorities. I think.
100%.
Really should have given her some jail time. Yeah.
Like, what lesson is this? Steal people's property and you get ice cream?
Yeah, come on.
Very weird.
Ben,
That's
thank you
hilarious.
so much for taking the time to do this. I'm so excited. We're going to link everything so that everybody can find you on all of the things and get discounted tickets for your show. And I'm so excited. And you're the best. And thank you.
Dude, have a great recording, man.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. I've only shot one special, and it was 1.5 years ago. But I'm happy for you. I'm stoked for you, and I can't wait to see what it does.
Yeah, can't wait.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate the kindness. We're talking about my special right now, not yours, Brent. But
And I can't wait to come back to your house, man. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime. Just keep your balls to yourself.
Okay,
this time,
deal.
all right?
Okay.
Right on. Peace,
See
brother.
So nice to be with you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care, you guys.
Send a lifeline. If you need some help, send a lifeline. If you don't know what to do.
805-764-1029. Call or text us right now. It's
We'll
your
give life
lifeline.
support. We'll give
All right, y'all, so
this segment is called Lifeline.
Lifeline.
We take all of your requests for how to make your life better, and we, as people who have no idea what they're doing, are going to help you out as best we can. What you got? What do people... And in the future, if you would like to reach out to us with any type of advice request, love or
just anything
life,
at all,
or literally anything,
we'll talk about it.
We'll hit you up. And what's the number?
The number is 805.
It's 805.
764-1029.
Okay.
And will not, can't stress that enough. I'm not going to answer.
No,
But
but
you
you
leave
have
a
to. But
voicemail.
you need to call and leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll play it on air, and
Yeah.
we'll listen, and we'll give you advice.
Yep.
So what do people say?
All right, here's one right now. I'm going to play it. I have not listened to this, so I apologize in advance. But here we go.
What's up, y'all? Long time, first time. My question is, what are y'all's best and worst memories from when y'all were kids? I got a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old, and trying to see how I can make their childhoods better and stuff like that. And the more stories and experiences, the better. See ya.
Right on.
I love that.
Long time, first time.
That long time, first
time, long time.
Yeah.
I've never met someone with that name before, but
First time, long.
what's good, first long?
First long.
Why don't you start with a bad memory?
Well, I guess if he wants advice, this kind of piggybacks onto my bad memory is just don't leave. I think that's probably some pretty sound advice for a father. Just don't leave.
Don't leave.
You know?
You know what? I'm gonna double up on that with a similarly personal memory-esque piece of advice.
Hit me.
Keep your promises.
Yeah.
You know?
Show up, don't
If
leave.
you tell your kids you're gonna do something and you get too tired, hey man,
You
still
told them.
got to do the thing.
You got to do it.
Got to do the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but before that, don't leave.
Yeah.
So don't leave.
For sure, don't leave.
And then do
the
it,
thing.
do it.
If you can't tell, we were raised by single moms.
So yeah, that's I think my best memory. God.
Let me.
Yeah,
While
hit
you
me
think of
with
that, I do have like a scary memory that was kind of scary. I don't know if this is good for a 5 or a 9-year-old. So long time, first time. If you're listening right now,
still
maybe
listening.
vet this next little anecdote. When I was like 5 or 6, I was at my dad's place, and his stepmom had a dog, and it was a little Jack Russell
His
Terrier.
stepmom or your
Or my
stepmom?
stepmom had a dog, and it was a little Jack Russell Terrier, and it was like an angry, one of those angry little dogs, right? And we were like wrestling or something like that, and the dog bit me in the balls.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You've had terrible
Dude,
experiences
I have
with
a
animals as
scar
a child.
on my ball sack.
No, you don't.
Yeah, for real. It's like, it's very small. It's like the white of your fingernail, like when you just cut your nails, right? It's the white of your pinky nail, and it's like on the underside, so you can't really see it. But bro, I got a nut scar, dude,
From a terrier?
from a little bitch ass Jack Russell Terrier.
I'm just picturing it
Yeah.
like latching on.
He was like,
and
and I was like, ah! And I went to the hospital, and they did the thing.
that's so embarrassing.
It was bad, and then I got ice cream after, and it was over. So I have like the scars. So maybe advice:
Don't get a dog.
don't get a Jack Russell.
Oh my God.
If you have little kids,
Or get a cup.
and also don't wrestle it.
Couple cups.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so terrible.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer.
That's my best childhood memory. I'd say, yeah. I you know what mine is? My best memory with my dad was he lived in New York, so I'd go stay with him. I go back and forth, and he used to take me to Starbucks and get like coffee frappuccinos. I'm a child.
Mm-hmm.
I have no business drinking coffee, but he used to take me, and it was like our little thing that we did, and he would just chain smoke cigarettes in my face, and I'd be like, blow O's, and he'd blow cigarette smoke in my face, and I'm like, this is awesome. But I would say doing things that like they're just memories where you're like, I'm not allowed to do this, not all the time, but maybe like sometimes, I don't know, like have a cup of coffee with your kid, something like that.
Just being allowed to do things that are like taboo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
My best memories were, my mom had me pretty young, so we were like homies. She brought me. We went on a cross country road trip from California to Maryland.
Wow.
3,000 miles. And we hit everywhere. We hit the Grand Canyon. We hit Michael Jordan's restaurant in Chicago back when that was a thing. We hit the Luray Caverns, which are these crazy caverns in like Virginia or something. We went to Rhode Island. It was beaches and hikes, and it was beautiful. It was awesome. It was super fun. So just like I had a lot of like fun experiences. One of my favorite memories as a kid, my mom used to bring me to Sacramento Kings game because I grew up near Sacramento. And in the pre-9/11 era, when security was super lax,
Yeah.
after the games, we would sneak into the locker room area, and I would get autographs from like the players
that's
as they would walk out onto
cool.
the team bus. I got Shaq's autograph. I saw Michael Jordan give an interview from like 2 feet away. It was nuts, dude. It was so cool. So, do illegal stuff with your kids.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're going.
Yeah,
that's where
that's
we're
the
going.
advice.
Yeah, and they'll turn out just like us. It was super cool. Oh man, I think we have time for one more message
Yeah, let's do
right
one
here.
more. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was great. All right, here's the newest one. I was told a coworker who gets laid a lot on dating apps is HIV positive and does not mention to the people he has sex with that he has that disease. This information has changed my view on dating and particularly one-night stands. Should I feel hesitant meeting new people? I've been on a couple of dates and I can only think of that, and it kind of gives me the ick even though I don't know if the person has HIV. That is a heavy question.
It's a heavy question.
Yikes.
It's a heavy question. I'd say, don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, I'd say, it's if you're really concerned and you really like the person, and you think you're going to sleep with them, like maybe just be like, hey.
Also, everybody's got something.
When was the last
First
time
off,
you got checked?
Everybody's got something.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to assume everybody's got something.
Yeah, either if it's not like, an STD, it's an emotional.
It's an emotional issue that's going to be way worse.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, because there's no cream for psychoticness.
That's right.
Psychosis? Whatever.
Psychotic.
But real talk, don't let that be at the forefront of your mind.
That's going to ruin.
That's toxic.
Yeah.
And it's going to ruin your relationships and ruin the way that you look at people.
Yeah,
that's
and
not
also,
good.
like, I don't know, what if you fall in love with someone? I feel like this is like this was not the movie with Mandy Moore. I think that was Cancer. But, like, well, like, this would be a weird spinoff.
Yep.
But, like, you fall in love with someone and then, like, they have HIV. It's like, well, you're not going to love this person? You'd be
Right.
like, you get HIV.
There's medicine.
Yeah.
Talk to Magic Johnson. Yeah.
Got it.
There's ways through it. Don't let something negative like that
Deter
with
you.
one person, because that's so rare. I mean, how many people are doing that? You probably know like the one guy out of a million people with HIV that does that.
Yeah.
Unless I'm just being naive.
Or,
But
I don't know. Maybe I don't know anybody with HIV, or do I?
do a million people have HIV, do you think?
I don't know.
I have
but
no idea.
one's
I don't
talking
know
about
these
it to
things.
me.
But I wouldn't let something like that in this one-off instance
I agree.
rule the way that you interact with or potentially interact with people.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's life. That's life advice. That's Lifeline. Guys, hit up that number once again. It's 818-18-1818. 818-18. Scrub back to the top for the number, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Search history.
What you looking at?
Search history.
Show
what you been
me.
looking at. Some
Google,
weird stuff. Some cool
creepy
stuff. What you trying to
porn.
learn about?
Welcome to a segment we like to call Search History, where we invade each other's personal space by
Look, here's why we do this segment.
Yeah.
Because my brain is broken.
as is mine.
And as people who create content and therefore art about culture and the world, we feel a certain urge throughout our days to follow our curiosity down different paths.
Right.
That sometimes, well, most of the time, most people would not follow those curiosities down those paths.
That's true. Or they'd be very ashamed to share them publicly. And we're not. We have zero shame here on this podcast.
So what have you been trying to learn about?
Well, so I just was visiting my mother in Florida. I wasn't really trying to learn anything. Actually, I guess I was. I have up here Los Angeles public vaccination records because my mom asked if I would help her reupholster some rusty furniture.
Uh-huh.
That hasn't been reupholstered since the last time I visited. And I had to go to urgent care because a rusty staple broke off into my finger. And they were like, when was the last time you got a tetanus shot? And I was like, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. And I had to get a tetanus shot and get an x-ray. It was a whole thing. But you can look up all of your vaccinations on it's public record. I'm up to date on my typhoid.
I'm not going to be in there.
My typhoid. But no, I had to get a tetanus shot. And of course, my mom was like, no vaccination.
Yeah.
No vaccinations. I'm like, Mom, I think tetanus and polio were safe.
Yeah, we're good.
Those
We're
are the
good.
two. If
We're
you're,
good.
And then it was a fucking no x-rays. No x-rays. I was like, just let me get out of here.
Yeah.
So I've got that. What do you got?
Dude, I just went to a random day from last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I typed into Google Armenian string cheese. Now, a lot of you out there are probably wondering why Brent was researching Armenian string cheese in depth, because it was in depth. As I scroll through the search results for Armenian string cheese, all of the clickable URL links are purple, which means they have already been clicked.
You've looked at this before. You've done this before.
I got to tell you, I don't remember the catalysts that sent me down this journey of discovery regarding Armenian string cheese. But I will tell you that looking through these links again and seeing photos of Armenian string cheese, I do feel called
What is it? What is
to
it?
eat Armenian
What
string
is it?
cheese. It's
What does it look like?
it looks like mozzarella.
Okay.
It's like in plastic wrap, and it looks like a braid, like a really thick braid.
That sounds
But it's
good.
cheese. It sounds delicious, and it's Armenian. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but it sounds good.
I want it, and you do too, because you've done this before.
I really want it, or maybe I just enjoy research. I've never had it.
Oh.
But I think I'm going to have to put it on the to-do list. There it is.
Oh my God, that looks great. It looks like pasta.
Looks way better than American string
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah.
Are you into that?
That looks great.
Yeah.
My cousin sent me an article from the New York Times. She gifted me an article, and it's titled "Woman Lost for 4 Days in Colorado Mountains is Rescued. Gina Chase went camping with an organization that recommended participants fast and discouraged cell phones during a spiritual retreat."
Oh!
And she got lost. And
No way.
Yeah, she got lost.
She got found?
She got found.
Okay.
And Yeah, there was a spiritual retreat where they're like, don't eat, no phones. And she wandered away, and she was gone for like, I don't think she was gone for very long. It was like, Sunday morning, she was found on Saturday. When did she go missing? I don't know, but my cousin sent it to me and was like, this is a bit. Do with it what you want.
I love family recommendations for video content.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
It's on the same journey as we are.
We could make a retreat video like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like don't
eat, don't bring your phone, just walk out into nature.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
You're going on this.
And then just make your way back in 10 days.
Let your
You'll
energy
be changed. And just charge like way too much money.
Yeah. It's $67,000.
No. $67,777.77.
Yes, exactly.
You're invited. As you feel the podcast episode coming to an end.
Realign time. We're at the end of our show. I know it's sad, but it's got to come to an end sometime. And we're here to leave you with a positive note.
That's right. Because, we do a lot of complaining on this show.
Sure do.
And is this show in place of therapy for us? Yeah. Is that healthy? No. But we try to make it as healthy as possible by ending with something a bit more uplifting.
That's right.
Than maybe what you've heard. You know, you might have heard some politics. You might have heard some complaints.
Yeah.
About the audaciousness of life. But what's making you happy right now? What are you looking forward to?
I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow. And I'm very excited about this trip. I am done with all of my work pretty much, and I am trying to not stress. I'm trying to be present. And I'm just going to try and relax. And I was very stressed about this trip at first, but now I've just accepted that this is part of my path, and I'm going to have a good time. And my mom got me some really great packing cubes so I can bring a lot of stuff. And I was really nervous because I'm on this crazy meal prep situation. But I'm going to bring all of my food in my carry-on, which is what I did in Florida.
Nice. Do you know you can bring a completely separate bag full of food?
That's what I've done.
Like you have your carry-on bag.
Yeah.
And then you can have a backpack
with just
personal
food.
Item. And then you can have a third bag full of food.
Okay.
Yeah. And it can be like a little duffel bag, like a gym bag. Yeah.
Tell me more.
Okay. So I have a lot of tricks.
Paul Saladino said.
Oh, yeah. You can bring a grocery bag full of food. In addition, so to start with, you have your rollerboard,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And then you have your backpack or purse or your satchel, whatever your personal item is.
Right.
Your third bag, as long as it's full of food, can be with you at all times. And sometimes I've even stuffed extra stuff that I can't fit in my other bags beneath like a couple snack items so that they don't see the stuff. So that I can just fit all my stuff.
Does it have to be a grocery bag?
No, it can be a little
like
duffel bag.
Cooler? Like a soft cooler.
Yeah.
What do I tell them if they say no?
You say it's food. No, they don't say it's no. They won't. They can't. Like legally, they cannot. I swear. I'm not lying. You say it's food. You don't even have to say shit. So at TSA, first off, TSA will not check you because TSA just lets you go through. TSA is not worried about how many items you have, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's taking all their items out anyways.
Yeah.
Once you get to your gate and it's time to board, if you walk up and you have your rollerboard on your right hand and you're pushing it on the wheels and you have your backpack on your back and you have your third bag in your left hand or whatever, you open it and you say, oh, this is food. They'll say, hey, you need to consolidate those items. And you just be like, oh, this is food. And they'll be like, oh, okay. Really? Yeah, do it.
It doesn't matter the airline.
No. This is a FAA thing. Consider yourself realigned. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in
watching, guys.
to this
So excited.
Look at your reaction,
This changes everything. Okay, we love you guys.
We love you guys. Do all the things.
please.
You already know what to do. The Google review, the Spotify review,
All of
whatever.
it.
Just follow it. Follow the YouTube. Follow the Instagram. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Every week on Thursdays is when we
week.
release.
That's when we do it.
All right.
Okay, love you guys.
Bring food on a plane.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is the best day of my life.